So over the last few years, I've had many different desk setups, and over time I slowly started to refine things to create sort of the essentials that are still on my desk setup today. And it may be very minimal, but this is really all that I need and my favorite desk setup accessories of all time. Since day one, I've pretty much run the MX Master 3, which we all know is the greatest mouse of all time. I really think specifically the shortcuts that are on the mouse is what makes it so special for me, as well as the ergonomics. But recently, I decided to upgrade to the MX Master 4, and honestly, it's everything that I've loved about the MX Master 3, just better. And it's a whole lot smoother and just overall more refined. And one of the main reasons that I love this mouse is specifically for editing and just all of the different shortcuts that you can map onto the mouse itself. And for me, it legitimately makes my editing 20 times faster. So for me personally, I've never really cared about mechanical keyboards. I was always the one to use those Apple Magic keyboards on pretty much all of my desk setups, but I tried the Low Free Flow Lite about 1.5 years ago and it stuck out to me the most and hasn't left my desk setup since. I personally love the sound of the keys, but it's also super thin for a mechanical keyboard. And the fact that it has a number pad is a nice touch. And I might potentially upgrade this in the future, but for now, this is my go-to keyboard for my desk setup. And I've also tried many different desk mats throughout the years, but I always come back to the HyperX Pulsefire mat. And this is one that I just picked up from Best Buy one day and it's stuck around ever since. Nothing too crazy, it's super simple, but it's great for gaming and it's very smooth. And it also matches my desk setup and contrasts the white on my desk with the black color of the mat. This is one of the newest additions to my desk setup, and this is the Anker Prime wireless charging station. And it's part of Anker's flagship fast charging lineup, the Anker Prime series, which is their top tier advanced charging gear. And the coolest part is that this is actually the world's first 25-watt wireless charger with an active cooling system and a built-in display. So instead of just throwing my phone on a pad and hoping it's charging, you can actually see the wattage, the temperature, and all of your charging statuses right on the screen. And that 25-watt charging speed is actually pretty legit. They're using the new QI2 25-watt wireless standard, which finally makes wireless charging feel like actual regular charging. So instead of just throwing a cheap 5-watt wireless charger on my desk, with this one, my iPhone 17 Pro Max goes from 10% to around 50% in like 22 minutes, which is actually only a couple minutes slower than a wired fast charger, and it's basically wired performance, but wireless. Now, the part that really surprised me is the active cooling. Anker said that they put aerospace grade TEC active cooling in here, plus their Active Shield 5.0 system that checks temperature millions of times a day, so the phone stays cool the whole time instead of cooking itself like most wireless chargers. And that helps with battery health long term, which is a must to protect. So you also get 3 charging modes depending on how you use it. You get boost mode, which is the fastest way to charge. You get ice mode, which cranks the cooling for maximum performance. And then you have sleep mode, which turns the screen off and keeps everything silent at night. And that one's perfect if you use this wireless charger next to your bed. And it's a true 3-in-1 charger, so it charges my phone, my Apple Watch, and my AirPods all at once. For me, it's replaced 3 separate chargers, so my desk instantly looks cleaner and has less clutter. Overall, it's just one of those premium upgrades that you add to your desk setup that just makes your space feel nicer. So if you want to check out the Anker Prime wireless charging station, I have it linked below in the description. And thank you to Anker for sponsoring this video. So if you've been a fan of this channel for a little while, which is weird to say fan, but if you've been watching this channel for a little while, you know my speaker setup, and it's the Presonus Aris 3.5-inch speakers. And just like my mouse, I've used these since day one. If you're looking for a good budget speaker setup in your desk setup, these are actually really affordable compared to other brands out there, and they're super quality. They monitor audio really well for what I need it for, and they're great for music and just watching content. And the size is actually really good for a desk setup. They're not too big, so they don't take up too much space, but they're also not too small to where they look weird. I feel like no matter what desk setup you have these in, they look really good. I think one of my most favorite upgrades throughout the years has been this new LG OLED monitor. Technically not new, but to me, it's new. I've used many different monitors throughout the years, from a simple monitor that I bought from Office Max at my first job. And I've used the monitors on those old iMacs with the Retina displays, and all the way up to this one. And this one honestly has been my favorite of all time. I personally think you get sort of the same experience of using those Apple monitors with a decently high pixel density, obviously not the same as a Retina display, but the quality of the OLED is where this really shines. Obviously for the super rich blacks, the contrast, and the color accuracy for video editing. But also, for gaming, obviously. You can get 120 hertz at 4K, and then they have a 48 hertz refresh rate mode at 1080p. So you can get 480 hertz at 1080p. Kind of crazy. I don't necessarily use it. I'm more of like a quality over quantity kind of guy in terms of gaming, but the option's there if you want. Now, I'm not a streamer, but I do love the Elgato Stream Deck. I don't necessarily use it for streaming, but I use it for quick shortcut access, and I can toggle different windows to open. And when I'm gaming, I have the different Discord controls up there for lowering and adjusting the audio, as well as muting my microphone. And then I have shortcuts for DaVinci Resolve and other computer shortcuts that are right here and easy to access on my desk. And it's super minimal and fits great into the setup, and there's a ton of customization that you can do with the Stream Deck. Now, number 8 is another sort of day one accessory to my desk setup, and that's the Rode PodMic. And I've been running this for like 3 to 4 years now. It's a solid $99 podcast microphone that's great for gaming, great for YouTube videos and voiceovers. It's not a Shure SM7B, it's not the top of the line, but it's really all you need, and for $99, pretty insane. I just have it running into my Scarlett Solo audio interface, and that's really all I need. You could definitely get like a cloud lifter or like a FET head, and that really just increases the gain floor on the microphone. I think that's how you say it. And it just gets rid of some of the noise from the microphone, but I've just used it straight into my audio interface and never really looked back. And speaking of the audio interface, that's the Scarlett Solo, and that's where I can adjust the volume of my computer, run the microphone into, and I can also plug my headphones in directly to monitor audio that way. Now, this last one is something that I bring with me pretty much anytime I want to shoot or if I'm traveling. It's this PGYTech SD card reader / holder. When I'm at home or I'm editing or if I'm using my laptop on the go, all I do is just open it up and plug it into my computer, and it can actually read a regular SD card as well as a micro SD card. And it has the ability to store up to 4 SD cards as well as 4 micro SD cards and 2 SIM cards if you want to store SIM cards. It looks super cool, it's super compact, easy to store in a bag, stores all your SD cards, but the fact that it is also a card reader is what makes it pretty awesome in my opinion. The last 3 years on YouTube have taught me a lot, but for my desk setup alone, I really learned what I needed the most. And I imagine just like everything else in my office, in 2026, I'm sure some things will change. But as of right now, these are my most essential and favorite desk setup accessories of all time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, you know what to do, but also comment below any desk setup accessories that you love, and maybe we can share it with each other and find some stuff that, we may not have ever heard of. All right, that'll do it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.